And we live. What's up, y'all? I'm Darren Randall. We back with Lamar. And y'all, welcome back to Let It Be Known. Before we really dive into it, we're gonna talk a little bit about Damar Hamlin once again. And just because I feel like it's kind of insensitive just to skip over everything, just start talking about football, when the situation's still going on. We still sending our prayers. You got anything? I know you seen little updates today. They said he's gaining. I think he's gaining breathing a little bit. I think it was like what did he say? I think he gained like 25% or something. It's a lot of
I
false ass.
believe,
It's a lot of false information coming out, but I seen one thing
yeah.
said, yeah, I don't want to, yeah, I
One,
don't really
well, one
know.
update I seen from I think from Adam Schefter, which is pretty credible because it's Adam Schefter, NFL insider. I think they was saying that he was doing way better than he was, yesterday. So it seems like every day he's progressing. So that's a good sign. But like you said, prayers still going up to him. I really hope he's able to breathe on his own, and I hope he's, like you said, skip football. Don't even think about football. Like, just hoping that he's able to, breathe on his own and able to talk to his family and able to go home and not be stuck in the hospital.
Exactly, because I want to see him breathing again, want to see him healthy again, if possible. Who knows if he'll be able to play football again, but whatever he's able to do, we just want to see him happy, smiling, with the family. His fund, it was his charity fund. I think it's called the Chasing M's Foundation. And he's raised like 5 mil, or when I checked it, I was probably like 4 or 5 hours ago. It was already at 5 mil. So I'm pretty sure it's probably like 6, 7 mil by now. But I'm happy that the league's coming together. People are coming together. I'm over here having people that I've never even heard talk about football, asking me questions about it. So I'm happy that at least everyone wants to see him doing good.
Yeah.
Everyone's feeling a little down about it, and we just want to see him doing good. Want to see him doing good.
Like
So
100.
and yeah, I want so now that we okay, so moving on a little bit, it's kind of we got to talk about the Bills and Bengals, and it's fucked up because this thing just happened between the two teams. But let me pull this up real quick. Share screen. All right, so this came out today by Mike. How you say his name? It's Garofalo, right? I always fuck up his name. Mike Garofalo. That's how you say it. All right, Mike Garofalo. So it was reported today by Mike Garofalo, or an NFL EVP. That's what is the EVP? Fuck is that for the NFL? That's like the
I
vice,
want to
like a
say,
some type of like president people like higher up in the NFL. What is it?
yeah. I don't know exactly, but I want to think that EVP might be executive vice president, if I'm not mistaken.
That's probably on the money. But Mike Garofalo reported that NFL EVP Jeff Miller says a conversation about the status of Bills and Bengals are ongoing. Decision is coming out in the next few days. Troy Vincent says the focus has been on Damar Hamlin, and they just begun speaking about the possible scenarios. So,
No, yeah,
and not to really, like I said, it's hard to kind of just go start talking about the game. Nobody really knows when the game's gonna happen. Nobody knows. At first, they're talking about maybe it's gonna be moved to later in the week, but they already said that's not happening. And right now, nobody
mm,
knows if the game's even gonna happen at all. But you've seen right here in the report that they're just getting started to talk about it. We're just gonna start finding out this week. But right now, like you said, the main focus is on the player, Damar. Make sure he's all right. Make
yeah.
sure him and his family and everything's going good. But the problem is with this, you can't really suspend the game, and but you also, it's hard to make them play the game, because it's not that much time left. The playoffs are about to begin. We're already in the last week of football. And then I was looking at some of the scenarios that people were talking about, and if you give the Bills a bye, or let's say you give this game like a draw, let's say you end in a tie, so each team gets 1-1. The Chiefs did the Bills did beat the Chiefs prior, but if the Bills end up getting a tie, that would give the Chiefs the number one spot. So that would kind of fuck everything up. They'll lose their number one seed, and then the Bengals will get it. And then you go to the
Mm,
Bengals. The Bengals also have an opportunity if they win their next two games. And I want to say the Bill, yeah. So if they win their next two games and the Chiefs lose one, then they're able to take it too. Or not two games. They only got one game left. But what's your outlook on this? How do you think they should play? Should there be another game played? When should it be played?
Me personally, I definitely believe. I think the game should be played again. I'm not sure if it should be later on this week. Me personally, I think it should be played this week. I think it should be maybe played maybe like because it was this game was a Monday game, so I would say this game should be played maybe like on a. My bad. I don't know. Maybe I was thinking maybe this week, but now I'm thinking about it. My bad. Maybe they should play. They should move on from this game and play. This upcoming week's schedule, and then this should be the last game. Like that Chiefs and Bills game should be the last game to kind of determine. It's kind of tricky though. That's why I was thinking about it like that because it's kind of tricky because it's kind of like in a sense like I ain't gonna say unfair, but like you said, the Chiefs they did beat the Bills did beat the Chiefs. Right. So it's like I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of tricky, bro. For real. I definitely think they should play the game though. I think they do, but maybe not this week though. They should move on. They should play this upcoming week schedule and then worry about the that game, after.
And exactly like you said, it's only 1 week of football. It's crunch time. A lot of teams are trying to figure out who and how they're gonna make their way into the playoffs. I don't know how they'll settle this. I don't know if the Bills. I think they should end it like this. The Bills already got their win against the Chiefs. All right, so now you just end it. Whatever this last week of football holds up. Let's just fuck. I don't even know, bro. I really don't even know. I'm over here trying to put this shit into words, but there's no way you could really break this down where it would be fair and even to the teams.
Especially that's honestly what I was thinking too. Same here.
You feel me? I'm over here trying to break it down. I'm like, damn, how would that even work? Okay, so the Bills beat the Chiefs. The Bengals would have to beat the Bills. Then the Chiefs would have to lose, and then the Bengals will get that number 1 spot. But then you can't end the game. You can't end it in a tie because if you ended it in a tie, the Chiefs will get the number 1 spot when the Bills already beat the Chiefs. So that would be unfair. And of course, the Bills, the furthest thing they're thinking about is their next game. They're thinking about, their guy. But also, once hopefully once everything goes good with Lamar, once he starts, recovering, then they're gonna start focusing in the football and try to win for him. But they're gonna want their number 1 seed. They're gonna be like, we already beat this team. How are you guys just gonna give us? Or how are you guys just gonna give the Chiefs our number 1 spot? We already beat them. We would have beat the Bengals. Is how they're feeling, and we would have been crowned the AFC champions.
And that's the thing that's tricky about it too, because that number 1 seed is very, very important. Like it's not like it's just kind of like any other, regular season game. If this was any other regular season game that didn't really matter, then maybe you can like end it in a tie, or shit, maybe somebody got a forfeit, maybe the Bills, just because DeMar was on their team. But I don't believe in the forfeit situation. Maybe the tie situation. This game, I feel like this game has to be played because, like you said, this number 1 seed is important, and like you said, you don't want any unfairness, anything to kind of like not make sense. Like, yeah, how did they get the number 1 seed just because this game wasn't played? And that number 1 seed, like I said, it matters just because home field advantage matters, the bye week matters. People getting kind of like rested kind of matters in a sense too. You want the players to kind of like be healthy, especially when you fight for that bye week. It's kind of earned. So yeah, I feel like a lot of players are looking forward to that number 1 seed because they want to have a week off and watch the other playoff teams and kind of scout who they're gonna play.
Yeah, that's what you grind for. You grind for that opportunity to get that number 1 spot. And then when you finally get to the situation, you feel like, all right, you already beat this team, you already beat that team. It's something that you really can't predict. Something that's never happened in the NFL. I don't know if an NFL game's ever been canceled mid-game like that, especially this late in the season with so much on the line. It's just, I don't know. It's such a bittersweet, hard moment. I don't know how the NFL. I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't. It's hard for you to say, okay, you guys are the number 1 seed, but we're gonna need you guys to play after this week against the Bengals again to actually clarify that number 1 spot. And then after that, you're gonna have to go play another playoff game. You're not gonna get a week off. You know what I'm saying? You just played basically a playoff game for the number 1. What's the point of even getting the number 1 seed? I mean, yeah, you still get the home advantage, but your team might get beat up. You might lose a few players just fighting for that spot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it matters that much. I don't know if that home field advantage matters as much as losing a couple guys. it's that shit felt hella funny though. Hey, why that shit felt hella funny though, straight down like that.
Shit felt hella slow.
Yeah, it did fall hella slow.
It's crazy though because I mean it's funny. It's crazy to say that because who knows? Like maybe it could have been some more injuries. Maybe it could have been some more injuries. If that game would have been played. So I mean the injury factor, you can't prevent injuries. I feel what you said though. Like guys gonna get banged up. They do play that. Move the game like to the last game. But I feel like no matter what, if the game was played, the last game or before, guys gonna get banged up regardless. Like just you can't really say that's inevitable. So, but yeah, like you said too, like it is tricky though. I do feel like, I agree with you though. I feel like since you made that example, that's why I feel like the game should be played maybe this week. I was thinking maybe like Saturday, and then they move their game back. Cause I think the Ravens play the Bengals. This will play the Bengals on Sunday. So, they should maybe move that game back later on in the week.
And that's what I was just about to bring up next. You just brought it up. The Bengals versus the Ravens will be playing this week, and that's going to be, I want to say, on Sunday. And the time just got announced at 1 a.m. And it's going to be the first Bengals game since what just transpired less than a week ago. Literally, I want to say it's going to be like 6 days when they do play because the injury happened on Monday. The game's going to be happening on Sunday, and they announced it's going to be at a 1 p.m. game Eastern time. But the problem to me is that game is going to be held at the Bengals Stadium once again. I feel like there's going to be a lot of trauma from not only players, but the crowd also, and just everyone that's watching the game. They're just going to be thinking about, damn, like what just transpired a couple of days ago. They're already playing on the same exact field. Is there any trauma? Is there anything that the players are going to be thinking? What do you how do you think the players' minds are going to be heading into this week?
I feel like once they get on the field, they might be thinking about it a little bit, but I don't think they're going to be like, really dwelling on it. But I definitely think they're going to be thinking about it though. I don't think it's going to like affect their performance though, to be honest. But I definitely think they're going to be thinking about it a little bit here and there. But once these parties start playing though, I feel like it's just, they're not going to think about it no more. It's kind of like in a sense, like when you think about like when you play football games, you got those butterflies, and you kind of like, even sometimes you try not to think about stuff like that, but you honestly sometimes too, like even when the game starts, or like you kind of think about like, damn, if I make this tackle, I don't want to get hurt, or I ain't trying to get banged up this game. But as you start playing, you don't think about that, bro, for real. Especially on offense, especially when you're playing like a position like receiver or running back, you just want to get the rock and make plays.
I can see where you're saying from. I can see where you're coming with that, but I feel like if one injury just happens during the game, somebody goes down, I feel like automatically you just start getting flashbacks. Like, damn, okay, now you're thinking about it mid-game, and that's kind of taking you off your game. Now you're over here hesitating on tackles. You're over here hesitating on each decision you make. So I feel like there is going to be something in the back of their mind. I don't know. Probably going into the game, they're gonna be thinking about it. But like you said, once the first whistle blows, they should be, I don't know, probably getting a rhythm in there, start feeling back to themselves, just only thinking about football and making the play. But like I said, it only takes one small moment. Even an ankle roll, when the medic coming out, just automatically gives you a reference. You're at the same field where it just happened. You see that Bengal sign, you see the same colors, you see this whole crowd, once again. And I feel like it can be hard to move on at times with something that traumatizing.
No, yeah, that's a good example right there. My bad. So you said I didn't really think about that. I definitely think, like you said, if somebody get injured, and obviously not to that extent to where like the paramedics got to come out and carry somebody off, but if any injury, I feel like you said, like if somebody's down on the field and like just say the medical team got to come out and just kind of like even if it's some check them out, even if it's like a concussion or like a twisted ankle or something like that, then people will definitely probably, especially the crowd, they're gonna think about it again, like, oh shit, here we go again,
and
especially the crowd, media, especially media too.
Tweets are gonna start happening. Yeah. You're gonna start seeing. They probably start making like false narratives about the NFL, saying like, "Why are the NFL doing this? Why is the NFL doing that?" Of course, they might not
Yeah.
say as much heading into the game, but as soon as that, like, you actually get to the game, that's when everybody's voices and Twitter fingers get much louder. I don't understand
Hmm.
why. It's like you were quiet the whole time leading into the week, and that's just how social media and the internet works. Even with us, sometimes we don't even. Sometimes just us not thinking about it. Sometimes we might not think about something that might be in the back of our mind, then it pops up and we just remember it, and we're like, NFL. I know that had to be on your mind. This is your job, and in a
Hmm.
certain. I don't know. That's kind of how I see it.
No, yeah.
Um,
No, but my bad. Just one more take I just wanted to mention. I feel you though. You definitely made a great example again too when you was just saying like if an injury happens, or even just like you said, just being there at that stadium kind of reminds you of it, and it kind of
yeah,
reminds me of Tua in a sense, just because it's not necessarily been somewhere. It's just the person being back. Tua, when he suffered that injury when he was out, he had even before the Damar Hamlin thing. Tua's injury was like the talk of the media and like, oh, like this was a crazy injury I'd never seen before, and the Dolphins got so much hate for it. But it kind of reminded me of Tua when you say that, because it's like, damn, when Tua come back after missing like 3 or 4 games, now you looking at him like now everybody's traumatized, even the fans, his teammates, even players that's coming, that's defending him, that's trying to get sack him and stuff like that. They trying to like maybe not even throw him to the ground now because they
right.
traumatized. Like, yeah, I don't want to kill this man. So
Yeah.
I feel it's definitely something to think about. Like just when you see the players, like damn, like or even when you see the team, like you think about the trauma.
It's a hard time we living in the NFL and in real life, because what happened is a real life situation. The NFL is just a game at the end of the day. Like they said, they still got families. They still, at the end of the day, one day they're gonna be 50-year-old just like us, and they're not gonna be known as football players, or they're not gonna have all the publicity going at them 24/7 in the limelight. They're gonna be old men, and they're gonna be human.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they only human. We all gotta meet a God at the end of the day. But
No, for sure.
moving on from this is another dude I always struggle to say his name. Is it Ari Mirov? Ari Mirov? Myrov? How do
Uh,
you say it?
I think it might
I,
be Ari Marov. I want to
I
say
think it's Ari
Ari Marov.
Mirov. But
Yeah.
anyways, my bad if I apologize if I say your name wrong. But it was reported by Ari Mirov, the Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson once again did not participate in practice today. Asked about his status, head coach John Harbaugh said, I'm going to leave all that stuff alone and focus on the game and have these guys ready for the game. Today marks 31 days since Lamar suffered his knee injury, and me and you were both thinking that he should not come back and play this game. But I don't know if you remember when they first asked John Harbaugh about this game and they asked about Lamar's injury. They asked him if he's going to be coming back. Will he be coming back this season? He said, yeah. And I actually got some clips. I showed you the clips. I want everyone to see the clips what John Harbaugh was talking about. Because we all thought he was going to be back, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't think nobody expected him to be missing by week 18 now. Am I right or am I
Yeah.
wrong?
Nah, you're right. I mean, he did suffer a knee injury, so everybody kind of did. I mean, we didn't really think it was nothing serious, but now we starting to think like, damn, is it a serious injury, or is it more to it? Or is it just Lamar doesn't want to come back to suffer anything more serious?
And that's what I was going to bring up. But let's hear what John Harbaugh had to say. This is from previous months prior. This is when Lamar Jackson first hurt his knee to this current day of events.
Definitive, but it's going to be a number, days to weeks. We'll see if he can go back this week. If not, it'll be sometime after that shortly. He's been through the MRIs, and I would say it's kind of week to week. It's going to be a weekly thing. So as the week goes on, we'll see for this week. It's probably less likely for this week, but it's not impossible. And then after that, it'll become more and more likely.
I mean, are you still optimistic, whether it's this week or not, that he is going to be able to come back at some point this year?
Sure, of course.
As far as Lamar, do you expect him to practice this week?
We just have to see. I don't know. I don't have an expectation until I hear more today. I'm just probably going to leave all that stuff alone. I'm going to focus on the game and just get ready to coach our guys and have our guys get ready to play. Definitive, but it's going to be a number.
And that last one was from what the current events of today. Like you said, it's a lot of things going on with Lamar. Maybe it is injury. Maybe it is, from my personal opinion, I feel like Lamar Jackson doesn't want to come back because he doesn't want to risk his body. He feels like they haven't paid him. And I think John Harbaugh knows exactly what's going on. That's why you seen in the last one, he's feeling kind of irritated because he thought Lamar Jackson would have been back by now. Because Lamar Jackson probably did tell him, yeah, coach, I'll be back. I'll be able to play. But, especially what's happened recently in the last couple of weeks, it's kind of, I feel like Lamar doesn't want to put his body at risk. He wants to get paid. He sees that the NFL, you just seen it. You could literally lose everything in the NFL like that. There's no time to be playing. If y'all want me to play, pay me. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
But what was your take on John Harbaugh and what he said, and what do you think is going on with Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, I agree with what you were saying too. I feel like there's more to it. Now that I was watching the clips, I feel like we obviously all seen the injury happen. We all know that with a knee injury it takes time, especially at quarterback, especially a mobile quarterback. But yeah, everybody was talking about Lamar Jackson before the season. Like if I was Lamar, I wouldn't even play a snap. Now that he's injured, they was even saying it too. Like when he first got hurt. I think he got banged up even like earlier in the season as well. They was like, man, I wouldn't play if I was Lamar. Da, da, da. And now he has like somewhat of like a serious like injury, because I don't think he'd ever really suffered something like this, like a knee injury before. So, yeah, I feel like maybe his mom or like someone, his agent or someone close to him is telling him not to play.
And if you look at John Harbaugh on these clips, it looked like when he first started from when the injury originally happened, he sounded way more optimistic about Lamar Jackson. Oh, he's gonna be coming back. He should be back in a week. He should be back in 2 weeks. The doctor said he'll be all right, But then the closer it got to the current day, you could hear him just sounding less and less confident. And it had to be from Lamar. It had to be something that he was telling him. It can't be because of injury. Because if it was getting closer to the date, he should be getting more and more healthier. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, they did like he was annoyed just because they are in the middle of like kind of like they were like first in the division for a while, just even though they were losing a couple of games, and then they're in the middle of a playoff fight. They're in the middle of fighting for a playoff spot, division spot. So yeah, I feel like he might be annoyed just because he's like, damn, like obviously every coach wants to win, but when they don't have their starting quarterback, when they're kind of like without their their best piece of their team, then that's when they start getting frustrated, especially when they know maybe the player can play.
Yeah, and I want to say so this is very similar to what Nick Saban had to say, but not exactly what Nick Saban had to say. Of course, this is college, and
that's crazy.
You feel me? This is college, and this is the NFL. But I want to bring this up. So Nick Saban said, well, he's against the players, sitting out during the Pro Bowl game, or not Pro Bowl games, during the bowl games and during certain championship games because they want to sit out and they want to get ready for the draft. And he said, what are they getting ready for? So I wanted to bring that up because you think about John Harbaugh, and he just kind of said the same thing. Lamar, in a way, should he be blamed and criticized in that same way for like giving up on his team?
I don't believe so. Just because it's not like he gave up, he got injured, and I feel like even his teammates, like like a real true, not even just a teammate, but a true friend. You got to think like, damn, like this person is a human being, and like you mentioned earlier, Darren, like like yo. Shit, life could be over at any second, in a sense, not let alone your career. So I feel like as a teammate, you gotta think like, if this is my son, or this is my brother, I would want him to get his money. I would want him to get his bag. I wouldn't want him to get injured and not be able to, feed his family after he didn't sacrifice his body for this game all his life, to get to this point. So I definitely feel like Saban and Harbaugh. Even if Harbaugh didn't come out and say it, but even if he is thinking this way, the same way that Saban is thinking, I feel like it's very selfish. These are obviously guys that, I'm pretty sure Harbaugh played. He played in the NFL. I think where we tried out. Saban, I'm not sure if he played in the NFL, but these are coming from guys who didn't really play at the elite level or play, of that status. So it's like, it seemed like they wouldn't really understand, but. It's like Saban. It's like, yeah. It's like, how can you say this? Like, of course they have. Like, what do you mean? Like, if you have a player such as like a Bryce Young, who's supposed to be a first overall pick, if he gets hurt, he's not going first overall anymore. That's millions of dollars that's not on the table. So it's like, what do you mean? What are you saying?
And I seen a lot of people saying, like, Nick Saban, he's already well off. He's been with Alabama forever. He's been paid forever. He can literally go anywhere
Mhm.
inside that facility. He can recruit any college player he pretty much wants to. Him and his family is set for life. Even after generations, even after Nick Saban leaves this world, Alabama is gonna make sure his kids are all right, his grandkids are all right, as long as they respect, the culture, respect Alabama, and as long as they stay around, they're gonna make sure they're set for life. Even if his grandkid, his great grandkid needs a job, Alabama's gonna always be offering. His family is
No,
family
yeah,
set for life. They owe him that much respect for he turned this whole college, this whole program into a Super Bowl type of, or he turned this college into an organization type. I
yeah,
don't know. That's how my
yeah.
outlook on it.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's kind of frustrating. And like even when this rule first happened, where players could kind of like sit out and then start getting ready for the NFL, it kind of was frustrating because you do want to see like good players play, especially when they're when it's big games, big bowl games. You want to see those good players play in the game just because they do make a huge difference. But hey, man, when you
Gotta
really
have
think
some
about the bigger
understanding.
picture. Yeah, when you think about the bigger picture, when you think about the millions of dollars and you think about what you've been working for all your life, then that's when you really got to make the true business decision of sitting out because you never know, man. Like that happened with Jamison Williams. Luckily, he was blessed, and luckily the Lions were, such a great organization to believe in him. And I really hope that he makes it pay off. And the Lions, really, they made a how do you say it? They made a sacrifice, but Jameson Williams, great example. He was supposed to be number one player, not number one player, but number one wide receiver taken in the NFL draft. He got hurt in the last game. He got hurt in the national championship game. And of course, who gonna sit out a national championship game? And coincidentally, this is Nick Saban's player that he played for Nick Saban. So it's like, come
Hey,
on, Saban, you just see Jameson Williams towards ACL in the last game of the year, and it's hurt his draft stock completely.
well,
Like
that doesn't
Jameson was
matter to Nick
totally
Saban. That's not a part
totally
of that. That's
depressed.
not a part of Alabama. You feel me? That's not a part of Alabama. Who
Crazy.
cares? That's him personal. That has nothing to do with Nick Saban. And that's
Hmm.
well, Nick Saban. Well, I ain't got nothing to say about Nick Saban. Good luck to Alabama's program if that's how he wants to keep thinking about it. I'm sure that'll make
Roll Tide.
plenty of players want to come and play for him. But
Roll Tide.
moving on, though, I want to talk about some of the scenarios in the NFL. When it comes to the playoffs, we're in the last week 18, and there's no way to really tell what's going on in the AFC. So we're gonna kind of skip over when it comes to the Bengals and the Chiefs, and when it comes to the Bills, we're gonna skip that whole
Yeah.
situation because there's no way to figure out who's gonna win that first seed until we know when the game's gonna be played. But we do know what we do and what we can't figure out is about some of the AFC East, AFC West, our NFC West, some of those situations. So first, you're gonna have the AFC South title. What is more likely for the Jaguars to go 8-8 and clinch it and beating the Titans, or for the Titans to beat the Jags?
Um, I honestly think that the Jags, I think they will beat, and I think they should beat the Titans just because the Titans are without a starting quarterback. I feel like going to the playoffs, you gotta have a stable quarterback, let alone an elite quarterback. You gotta have an elite quarterback to do well in the playoffs. Or you're gonna just lose in the first round. And I feel like even if the Titans do win, it's gonna be a waste because they're gonna lose in the first round. I just feel like Trevor Lawrence is he's getting to elite status. He might not be elite yet, but he's getting
He's
there.
approaching,
He
knocking on the
shows,
door.
yeah, he's knocking on the door for real. Man. He's knocking loud. And over these last, no, for
Ring
real,
that
over these
doorbell,
last few,
man.
man, that boy ringing that doorbell, man. That boy ringing that shit nonstop. Um, it's crazy because Trevor Lawrence over the past couple of weeks he's been showing signs of like just great progression, showing signs of like elite status. Yeah, and I feel like he should be able to continue to play really well against the Titans. Titans defense is pretty good though, but he should play well against the Titans. I feel like they should pull out this win, and I feel like they do get to the playoffs. They will be a tough team to beat just because their defense is pretty good too. The defense is pretty tough. And they're on a roll right now. I think they won like 4 in a row. So
And
yeah, man.
I think
Jaguars, man. Shout out to them.
yeah, I think you hit that on the head. And I don't think the Jaguars probably 5-6 weeks ago, I don't think they would be considered a dangerous team in the playoffs. But considering they're getting so hot this late in the season, I feel like they got to be a threat to anybody. But Derrick Henry, he just came back to practice, but he's still not 100%. He's kind of forcing it because they need him. So I'm gonna take the Jaguars, like you said. Trevor Lawrence is ringing that doorbell loud, and he's letting it be known that he's a real quarterback, an elite quarterback coming into this league. But next you're gonna have the AFC North. Like I said, we're not really gonna dive into that because we don't know what's gonna happen between the Bengals and that whole little trio. But with the number 7 seed, what is more likely for the Patriots to clinch with the win at the Bills or the Dolphins? The Dolphins to clinch 8-8 with the win against the Jets and the Patriots loss at the Bills. For the Steelers to win versus the Browns and Dolphins loss versus the Jets and Patriots loss at Bills. The Jaguars 8-8 clinch with the loss at Titans, losses by Dolphins and Patriots and the Steelers. So I know that was kind of hard to break down, but so basically, who's gonna get the number 7 spot? I feel like the last teams, there's a lot of other shit that has to go right, especially for the Steelers. They need to win, and then they need the Browns and the Dolphins to lose, and then they need a Jets Patriots loss at the Bills. They need a Jets and a Patriots loss.
Are they trying to say the Jags can still get the number 7 seed even if they lose the division?
Yeah, that's just to get if they lose the division, just to get the number 7 seed.
Oh wow, damn, that's a lot.
It's a lot of shit to break down. So basically, who's the most likely though to get that 7 spot?
I feel like the first 2 options is more likely. Like we was talking about the Titans and we're talking about the Titans and the Jags. I feel like whoever wins that game is going to win the division. Like that is what it is. But I feel like the Patriots. I feel like they will lose to the Bills. I feel like they're gonna lose to the Bills, and then I feel like the Bills are really fighting. You know, they fighting for something for real. They gonna play for their boy DeMar. They gonna fight for their brother. I feel like the Bills are gonna beat the Patriots, and then
that should be easy dub.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna say easy because the Patriots been playing really well these past couple of weeks. But I think the Dolphins. That's my scenario. I think the Dolphins will make it. I think McDaniels will get in. I think they're gonna pull it out against the who they play, the Jets. I think they're gonna beat the Jets.
And that's what I think too. I feel like the Dolphins have the most likely scenario just because all they got to do is win versus the Jets. And then the Jets, I don't think who do they got started? I don't even think it's Mike White this week. I'm not sure, but even if it is, okay, I still feel confident in the Dolphins, so the Dolphins should be able to get a win. And then the Jets. Oh wait, so then the Patriots lost at Bills. I feel like that's pretty likely. I feel like the Bills, like you said, they're gonna be playing for their brother. And then they're also just a way better team. They got Josh Allen. You know, the Patriots got Mac Jones. That speaks enough for itself. But Bill Belichick is not gonna go down easy. He's fighting for a playoff spot. He knows what needs to get done. So whatever he has up his sleeve, he's gonna throw it all out. He's gonna throw the whole kitchen sink out so he can get a win against the Bills. But I feel like you said, I feel like the most likely scenario would have to be that Dolphins game. Next is moving on to the NFC. You got a chance to get the number one seed in the NFC. You have the Eagles could clinch with any of the following: a win or tie versus the Giants, a Cowboys loss or tie against the Commanders, a 49ers loss or tie versus the Cardinals. The 49ers could clinch with the following: a win versus the Cardinals, an Eagles loss versus the Giants. The Cowboys could win the division or win the number 1 seed by a win at the Commanders, Eagles loss versus the Giants, and a 49ers loss or tie versus the Cardinals. What's the most likely scenario?
To be honest, I honestly think we're gonna beat the Giants. I mean, everybody might call me biased, but I feel like, especially if Jalen Hurts come back, I feel like we're gonna beat the Giants. I think it's gonna be a good game though. Don't get me wrong, because these division games are tough. The 3 losses that we lost 3 games, but the 2 losses out of those 3, we lost to division opponents, the Cowboys and the Commanders. So we definitely can't take this game lightly. But yeah, I feel like Jalen Hurts come back. I feel like we can pull it out. I think we can win the division. But knock on wood, man. If we end up losing, I feel like the Cowboys. Who do the Niners play again? My bad. Niners play the Cardinals.
They got the Cardinals.
Yeah, so I think the Niners, they can get it too though, man. They can win the number 1 seed. But Hey, to be honest too, like, don't get me wrong though, man. Like I feel like I don't think the Cowboys gonna win it though. I don't think they're gonna win number one seed. I think it's definitely out of the Eagles and the 49ers. I think it's a 2-team race right now, which is perfect, man. We didn't talk about this all year. It's come down to our two teams. I love it. I love it. But
Exactly. Facts.
no, yeah, it's crazy. And I hope it really come down to the playoff match of the NFC Championship. But no, yeah. The one thing about the number one seed, though, don't get me wrong. I will want the number one seed, especially with Jalen Hurts kind of been banged up a bit. But like I mentioned last time too, the number one seed, it comes with a lot of pressure. It's like being the number one seed in like any sport. You have a lot of pressure, especially when it's a one and
Playoffs
done
come with
scenario.
pressure, baby. Super Bowl come with pressure.
Yeah,
If you're not
yeah,
built
man.
for it, you shouldn't be in the playoffs.
Yeah, man. When you in a one and done scenario, that number one seed shit don't really matter, to be honest. Even that bye
Right.
week, so it's a lot of pressure though. It's just a lot of pressure just because you're number one. Everybody's like, oh, this is the team to beat. They have home field advantage, but shit, sometimes home field advantage don't matter either, man.
And like you said, I'm gonna have to agree. I feel like it's a 2-team race. I feel like the Cowboys need a lot to go right for them to end up making it, and they played themselves out of this situation. They have nobody to
Mhm.
blame but themselves, but they still in a good spot. They still have at least they still have an opportunity for that first spot. But I don't see the 49ers losing. They playing against the third stringer. They're not playing against Kyler Murray. They're not playing against Colt McCoy. They're playing against a guy that I don't even know his name. So I don't think that I don't see the Niners losing this game, but you never know. And with the Eagles, I feel like they had the most likely scenario just because all they got to do is win, just win, baby. But they're playing against a good Giants team, and the Giants are known. This is their time. The Giants are known for January football, December football, late time football, to stamp themselves. Eli Manning's been doing it. They won championships during around this time. And I feel like they're going to come in with something to prove. They're going to come in like they want to show that they're a real team entering in the playoffs, and the Eagles, the 49ers, the Cowboys don't matter. Anybody could get it against the Giants. So I feel like they're going to come in with sort of a chip on their shoulder. But we'll see how that goes. Next, you got the NFC East. That's basically for the number one spot. Whoever wins the NFC. You get a win versus the Giants or Cowboys loss at Commanders. That shit that really doesn't even matter. We're just talking about the first seed. Fuck the East title. Who wants that shit? But with the number 7 seed in the wild card with the NFC, you're gonna have the Packers. This is gonna be a good ass week of football. You're gonna have the Packers at 8-8. All they need to do is beat the Lions. They control their own destiny. We spoke about this. And then you got the Lions. They got to get a win at the Packers, and the Seahawks loss or tie against the Rams, or they could get a tie against the Packers. I'm not going to bring up all those scenarios. The main scenario is a win against the Packers and a loss against the Seahawks. The Seahawks, they're 8-8. A way for them to make it would be they'll have to win against the Rams and a Packers loss or tie to the Lions. What's the most likely scenario?
Low key, man, it's funny because this is I'm gonna tell you what I want to happen, but then I'm gonna tell you what I really honestly think is gonna happen. So what I want to happen, I want to see the Lions get in just because they're a true underdog story. They went 1-7, they won 7 games in a row or maybe 8 games, and everybody counted them out. And it's funny, I love to see when people are counted out and when teams are counted out. I love to see them overcome adversity and bounce back. And the Lions this year's
Underdog,
was the offseason Hard Knocks team.
Yeah,
so I feel like that's pretty cool too. So I feel like for them to make a run and make the playoffs, that'd be a great story for this season.
Especially after starting the season how they did. They started 1-6, 1-7, and then now they fought themselves in a spot to finally make the playoffs. And they haven't made the playoffs since 2000, early 2000s, early mid 2000s. It's been some time.
Yeah, since Calvin was there for real. It was Calvin Johnson. But and honestly too, I think if they get in, they can make a run. I feel like not make a run like that, but I feel like they can definitely be competitive, and I definitely think they can be gritty. I think they can maybe win 1 or 2 games. It's the playoffs, man. You never know what can happen. And Jared Goff, he's a veteran quarterback. He's been to the Super Bowl before. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They have veteran receivers. So yeah, I feel like they can. I feel like they can make it do what it do. But what I feel like is going to happen though, that the Lions, what I want them to get in the playoffs. But I feel like what I know, I think Green Bay Packers are going to do it. I feel like Aaron Rodgers. I trust Aaron Rodgers so much. He had a tough year. He's had a tough year. Same thing with him. No, he's overcome a lot of adversity this season. Whether it was a lung injury where they thought he was gonna be done for the year. He got beat up against the Eagles. He still played pretty well though. He's always been playing pretty well. I feel like it was kind of like his team, his offense, his young receivers. That was kind of like the downfall of them, kind of like struggling. But they picked it up, like you said last time, Darren. Like Christian Watson has picked it up. That they running game has picked it up. They starting to figure out, better late than never, to be honest. But they running game has picked up a lot. AJ Dillon and my boy Aaron Jones. But yeah, I feel like they're gonna win it though. I feel like the Packers gonna do it. And like you said, they got the easier scenario. All they gotta do is win. If they win, they're in. And I feel like that's what they're gonna do. I feel like they're gonna win it. I feel like they're gonna pull it out. And shit, Packers are really scary. The shit, fuck the Lions. If the Packers get in the playoffs, they gonna be scary. No, for real. Like scary for anybody. Whether it's the Eagles, especially the Eagles, because we played them already. And
I don't know about the Niners, man. The Niners already handled them boys.
Yeah.
Boys.
Yeah, they handled them boys.
2 or 3 years straight, they handled them boys. Even
they
this year, they played them.
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers though, man. Aaron Rodgers, man. When you face a good quarterback, you never know what can happen.
I don't know, man. The Niners played Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. They played the Niners in the playoffs back-to-back years, and they got eliminated twice. You feel me? So they got eliminated at Levi's, then they went, and then they went to Wisconsin and whooped their ass in the snow. So I can't give them the benefit of the doubt in there. There's no way. Even every time they play against each other, it don't go good. But I get what you're saying. You got to watch out for Aaron Rodgers. And this week, I feel like the Packers should be able to beat the Lions. Aaron Rodgers knows what's at stake. Aaron Rodgers is the bad man. Even though I just said what I said, pretty much against Aaron Rodgers struggled against the Niners all his career. This is not something new. It's not like he's just been their kryptonite ever since they skipped out on him. But Aaron Rodgers against the rest of the league, he gonna tear their ass up. He's a bad man. Stephen A. Smith said it. And the Lions, their defense, okay, some games are good, some games are not so great. But I can't see Aaron Rodgers coming in and losing this game. This would be a real legacy killer. I really believe that. Like, you get a chance to get into the playoffs and then you lose to the Lions. And I want to say they're at home. I want to say they was at home. But either way, you lose to the Lions, had a chance to make it to the playoffs. Nah. They're not letting that slide. Your legacy, there's a lot of stuff at stake for this week. But moving on, it's going to be a crazy week of football. Let's see all the scenarios. This is really your game, the college football game. So Jordan Schultz reported, he asked current NFL executive about Jim Harbaugh, who told me Jim Harbaugh wants to be an NFL coach again. And I wanted to ask you, if John Harbaugh was to come back in the NFL, he was coaching for the San Francisco 49ers, my team. The last time he coached, we seen him with Frank Gore, we seen him with Colin Kaepernick. We seen what he was able to do. He took him to 2-3 NFC championship games, took him to a Super Bowl. They lost, but he went to a Super Bowl. And he never had a losing season as a head coach in the NFL. But as I was looking, who would be the best fit? Who would be the best scenario for Jim Harbaugh to return to the NFL? You got to think about the Bears. You got to think about maybe Commanders. You got to think about, I don't know. There's a couple teams, the Broncos.
I think the Bears pretty set on their coach right now. He's on Eberflus. He's been there for a year. I feel like he's done a decent job, especially with Justin Fields. Yeah. Justin Fields has made tremendous strides from his rookie year because that boy was not looking good. He looked way better this year, even though he definitely needs to make better strides as a passer. But I feel like the best spot for Harbaugh would be most likely, I would say either Broncos.
Cliff Kingsbury resign. He resigns. Him and Kyler they're not seeing toe to toe. They don't want to fire him because they just gave him the contract. Maybe he just wants to leave. He resigns. And then here comes Jim Harbaugh, a real leader, a real head coach, comes in and take over the spot for Kyler Murray.
No, that could be a scenario. But the scenario that I kind of really think about, I don't think the Cardinals are going to get rid of Kingsbury right now. I think they're going to give Kingsbury at least one more year. But I think the scenario that I can see, just because it's the vacancy that I see right now, is the Panthers and the Broncos. And out of those two teams, I can see the Broncos just because it seems like Harbaugh would probably better fit on the West Coast. Not even just saying West Coast, East Coast, but I feel like he'd be better, West Coast. And I feel like he, like you mentioned earlier too, I feel like the better scenario, like he got to be put in a good fit, like for him to succeed,
Right.
especially right away. So I feel like him being with the Broncos, they got a good offense, they got receivers, they got a running back, they got a great quarterback, Russell Wilson, even though he didn't have a great year this year. I feel like Harbaugh was with Kaepernick, so maybe they can, even though Russ and Kaepernick is, they're similar with their running styles, like with mobility, but they're a little different as well. But I feel like maybe Harbaugh can use the same type of offense, or kind of like go about it the same as he kind of use Kaepernick in a sense too. So I feel like the Denver Broncos would be the best fit for him.
See, to me,
Maybe the Colts, maybe, but
that's where I was going with my scenario. I was gonna say my bet. I feel like the best fit would be with the coach. You're gonna have a good defense, which he's been with the San Francisco 49ers. Then you're also gonna have a run game with Jonathan Taylor, which he's been with the San Francisco 49ers. You got Quentin Nelson. Sure, he got pushed back the other day, but he's a good offensive guard. You got all you really missing with that coach team is some leadership and a quarterback. You bring in a good coach who's able to lead a group of men, and then you bring in a quarterback who's able to read the field and do exactly what the coach needs them to do. And you're going to need a guy that's a lot younger than Matt Ryan, a guy that's not all dust and bones, a guy that could, move out the pocket a little bit, like Jim Harbaugh is used to doing. And why not? Since he's been with college quarterbacks his whole career, I'm pretty sure the coach should have a pretty fair draft pick, or they should have draft picks to even trade. Why not bring in a quarterback out of college that you could groom yourself and turn into a leader, just like you did with Colin Kaepernick?
That's true. And Harbaugh was a quarterback himself, so he kind of serves as like a quarterback coach, but also as a head coach. So yeah, that could be a possibility too. But I feel like it's just better for him to, I feel like if as a new coach, if you don't want to, I mean, sometimes you can't control it because you can kind of only take the position that's offered, or the position that as, like you said,
not with
best fit for you.
Not with John Harbaugh. I mean, not with Jim Harbaugh though. I feel like he has a lot more power to where he wants to go, and if he's not in the right scenario, he has no problem with staying in college ball.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just don't want to see Harbaugh leave college, and obviously he's like the past 2 or 3 years he's had really good seasons in college football. He's made it as far as like the college football playoff. But I just don't want to see him go to the NFL and then have a bad couple of years or maybe a year or two.
Right.
And now they're like, oh, Harbaugh's a bad coach, which he's really not. He's a great coach. Like you said, he's never had a bad season in the NFL. Well, he's never had a losing season in the NFL. So yeah, I feel like he's a great coach, and I feel like you said, he should just go to a good scenario. I feel like he should go to the Broncos just because, rather than be with a rookie quarterback and groom him and have to groom him for a year or two, you already have a quarterback in Russell Wilson who already has come off a bad year. I feel like Russell's coming into next year already kind of like thinking about this year in a sense, like knowing that he needs to, play elite. He needs to, get his guy on the same page. I feel like Russ knows this, and I feel like Harbaugh don't need to, groom Russ for a year or two. Russ is already groomed.
I agree. And I'm hoping Jim Harbaugh, he comes back, and if he does end up going to the Broncos, I feel like that'll be a great scenario for him. Like you say, they have a solid defense, they have a solid offense, and I feel like Russell Wilson needs a coach that could, I don't want to say groom him, but kind of grab him and show him a way, like
kind of guide him.
Pete Carroll's been, kind of guide him like Pete Carroll's been doing his whole career. Maybe it could be hard for a quarterback when he's so used to something to go out there and step out on his own. But he does need to do it to win a Super Bowl. You're gonna have to be that type of quarterback. But I feel like Jim Harbaugh will be a great quarterback to at least get the engine started. Get that fire lit up under him, and let's get some wins.
And it'd be a good scenario. And it'd be a good scenario too, just because I think he's still the vice president, John Elway. Elway's there, so that'd be cool. Elway with Harbaugh, the quarterback connection.
I agree. And next I want to talk about the Commanders. They end up dropping their new mascot. I don't really understand why they dropped them so late in the season and why they dropped them out of nowhere. But I want to see your opinion on this mascot. How do you think it looks? I'm gonna show a clip out, and y'all let it be known. What was your thoughts on the mascot and the whole situation? But let me pull it up.
Just kind of chuckled about it. Order faster. Going to the maximum. Going to the maximum. Going to the maximum. Bigger, order faster. Going to the maximum. Going to the maximum. Going to the maximum. Bigger.
Anyways, whatever the fuck that was, I'm about to shit, bro. You want some of this motherfucker, man? You want some of this Commander, man? Because I don't know what the fuck that was, bro. All I see was some bacon dancing and shit, bro. I'm about to go get down on some Commander Piggy real quick. Because what the fuck was that? Let me get
Commander
an
sandwich.
a Commander sandwich. Let me get an honest opinion on that mascot. How did you think it was? I don't get it. I guess it's something to do with the past. I don't know when the fuck they had pigs in Washington, but what would you grade that? 1 out of 10.
I graded a 7. It's not crazy bad. Just because I see the connection though. I definitely do. Just because I see the history of it.
Tell
I
us
feel
about
like
it.
the pig. All right, so I feel like when the Commanders were the Redskins, they used to always like the fans used to always wear like pig like memorabilia, like pig hats and stuff like that, such as like the Packers wear cheese and stuff like that. So for some reason, like the Commanders, like the Redskins used to wear pig stuff, and I think what have to do with that is like the pig skin, like football pig skin. So I think that's where the pig comes from, honestly. Because like you said, I don't see any other connection, like pigs in Washington, pigs in DC. I don't see
So
that.
why not a
But then
soldier? It's a commander.
that's what I mean. I see it though. I see it's like the pig is a
Pig
soldier.
soldier.
He's a
Pig soldier.
yeah, it's a pig. It's a pig soldier. Was it Major Teddy? Major
The
Cuddy?
fuck
Major
you ever?
Teddy?
I ain't never been on no war and seen no pigs out there shooting guns. I ain't never seen no pigs out. I ain't never seen no pigs doing nothing heroic. Pigs will eat their own. Like pigs do some fucked up shit, man. Pigs will eat a whole ass army soldier. If an army soldier was in war and a pig found that motherfucker, he would eat him from toe to head, easily,
Bones and all.
bones and all, bruh. Crunching on it. Pigs have no respect. Fuck that pig. Yeah, I don't know, bro.
Major Teddy. No, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I understand what you're saying though. I don't know why they came out so late in the season with this damn mascot. Maybe shit, who knows? Maybe if they had the mascot earlier in the year, they would have been more better or more motivated, or they fans would have, been more excited or something. But I see the connection though, low key. I see it. It's not that far off. I see it.
It's so weird to bring them out when you're losing. Nothing's going right. You just bench Tyler Heineke and then you bring out a fucking pig mascot. I don't get it. I really don't get it. You don't think that could have waited till next season? We're already so late in the year. Y'all could have waited.
Yeah, they should have waited. They definitely should have waited.
And
that would have been something to look forward to going into next season for sure.
Oh, for sure. If you could have hyped it up way more. I feel like they just dropped it out the blue and was like, "Here, we got a pig." When I seen it, I remember somebody posted it, and I was like, "Whoa!" They just dropped that today. Are y'all serious? I think they dropped that on like Saturday, right before the game. I'm like, "What the fuck? Why?" And then y'all, I don't know. I think they brought him out also. Like, why? Nobody's clapping him for the pig. Everyone's like, "What the fuck? This what we doing?" But lastly, I wanted to shift gears. And talk about this. Lamar, I think I sent this to you. I think you got a chance to take a look at it. Mm-hmm. And what camera view looks the best? You like it like this, or you like it like this? Or you like it like this, or you like it like this?
Let's go to the side.
Let's go to the side. All right. Yeah. Lastly, I wanted to talk about John Morant. John Morant it was reported by TMZ. John Morant is being sued for allegedly punching a teen at his Tennessee home. And to break down the story, it says John Morant has been sued, TMZ Sports has learned, after he was allegedly involved in an attack of a minor during a basketball game in July in his Tennessee home. The suit was filed in Shelby County in September. Court records show that the case has since been sealed, but we learned on all stems from July 26th incident at NBA superstars' residence in Eads, Tennessee. According to police documents, 17-year-old filed a lawsuit on September 9th, told cops he was playing a pickup basketball game with John Morant at John Morant's house when the two got into a verbal altercation. The plaintiff to the docs said the argument became heated and he threw a basketball at Morant accidentally, hitting him in the face. The teenager said the Grizzlies point guard then approached him, put the chin to his shoulder, asked the bystander, should I do it to him? The teen says Morant then struck him with a closed fist, knocking him to the ground. Ugh. What is your take on this, man?
When I first see this, I thought this was fake news. But shit, if it is real, I mean, to be honest, I don't know what to think of it. But if I had to like really, really like dissect it and like give my input, I don't know. I think it's bullshit. Not bullshit, but I just think it's like, come on, like you said, he accidentally, like, come on. First of all, you play basketball with an NBA player. Why are you doing the extras? You're obviously trying to, you're trying to get some money. You're trying to get some fame out of this. He knew his intent. I feel like, come on, you knew your intentions before the basketball game. And I'm pretty sure John Morant probably, oh, come on, little bro, let's play a basketball game. Or, I'm pretty sure the fan probably even asked, like, oh, Morant, can I play? And he wanted to, be extra and probably throw the ball and do some dumb shit. You know how kids are, bro. For real. Like, I have no sympathy for this shit. Like, I have a 16-year-old brother, bro. And not to say my little brother is a badass kid, but he has friends, and I'm telling you, bro, I see kids like, that's kind of troubled all the time, and they do dumb shit like this.
So it was at his Tennessee home. It was at the home where he has a little basketball court already in. So he invited the dude to come over and play clearly. So my problem is I play pickup basketball. My problem is I play pickup basketball. I've been at the court. I've been at the park, and I see heated altercations all the time. And you don't accidentally throw the ball at somebody's face. You were hot because John Morant was probably speaking out his neck because he was probably right. Boy, you ass. You straight trash. And you know what he did? He grabbed that ball. He threw it hella hard at John Morant. Maybe he didn't mean to hit him in the face, but he for surely meant to hit him in some sort of aggression form. And John Morant probably didn't catch it. And he got hit in the face. I don't know if you ever got hit in the face with a basketball, but you got me fucked up, boy. So he probably walked up to him, struck him with that shoulder, like, ugh. And then he was like, he said to my friends, like, should I do it to him? And John Morant be on that young boy. Should I do it to him? He probably said it like that. Should I do it to him? also Louisiana. And then he said, nah, and hit him with that Mika Maka boom, and the little kid went straight to the floor. I'm not saying this right. Yeah. The kid is 17, but you playing in the NBA. I mean, you playing with an NBA superstar. Don't ever come to the court with that soft ass shit. Man, you don't ever come to the court. If you can't take the heat, don't enter the kitchen, bro. It gets spicy out here. It get filthy. And if you're gonna get punched, like, bro, you're in an NBA player's house. You're there to have fun. Shit happens. Okay, y'all boys still at the end of the day, shake hands. Of course, you're gonna be heated in the moment. He's gonna be heated. Whatever. Shake hands, let it go. But don't take them. Right. Are you really gonna file a lawsuit over that? Over getting chin checked in the face? You better get back up and work that boy, John. You doing talking about filing a lawsuit, but I understand, if I get hit by NBA player, oh, he broke my chin. I'm about to sue for $5 million, boy, $10 million. That's probably what he was thinking about. I wouldn't have done that personally.
From the reports, he making it seem like Ja legit, like it wasn't even a basketball play. Like Ja just like he like got close to him and then he just like turned around, just like socked him type shit. Like not even on no basketball shit, just like punched him. So I don't know.
It's not on no basketball shit. When he threw the ball on him, he chose that. When he threw the ball at his face, he didn't want it to be no basketball shit, and that's why he got punched.
Yeah.
Hey,
I feel what you're saying though. Like you're there to have fun. Why, like at the end of the day, like why would you even ruin that relationship? At the end of the day, like you should just took your butt whipping like a man, or took your, because I'm pretty sure like John Morant's ultra competitive. The boy, 17-year-old boy, but you never know who this boy was. He probably was a recruit that was really good. That was like in a neighborhood that wanted to challenge Ja. You see it all the time where young kids. Ja's like 22, 23. It's not like, okay, 17 to 23. I mean, it is an age gap, but it's like, man, when I was 17, I was going after 22 and 23-year-olds too. Like, who want me, bro? We could ball up. I'm ass, but I'm talking my shit. And I was okay. Yeah,
like, you got to be ready for anything that comes like back from it.
Yeah, and like we don't know what the 17-year-old boy look like. You never know. Like I said, he probably some type of basketball player in the state or in the city or in like the local neighborhood. He probably he
He's a
probably he
minor, so
probably
they
pretty
wouldn't.
good. Yeah, he's minus so they can release him. But yeah, he probably pretty good. And shit, who knows? He probably John Brown like about 6'1", 6'2". He probably taller than Josh. Shit, fucking around. Even though Josh's older than him, he probably the boy probably about like 6'3", 6'4". So that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. You
6'4",
never know.
right?
So I'm pretty sure if the kid was like 5'9" and all little and younger than Josh, I'm pretty sure Josh wouldn't have punched the kid in the face.
Yeah, I don't
But
feel like
like
Josh
you
punching
said,
on a little tiny ass kid, like 5 foot something. Just you had to be like the same
yeah,
height. You are around the same height, an inch, 2 inches shorter, somewhere, or around that, and you disrespected
yeah.
Josh.
But like you
What
said,
would
yeah,
you?
if you thought about like if you get
Yeah,
hit with even if you get hit on an accident, if you get hit with the ball in your face, that shit hurt. And you're like, even if you know it's not nobody's fault, you get hit with the ball in your face, it's just embarrassing. You're like, damn, like
and they
not even
already
it's
piss you
embarrassing. That
off,
shit
bro.
like that shit, yeah, if it's fucking that shit hurt, like your nose and everything, like eyes get watery.
Hell yeah, blood. Shit, you bit your lip on accident. I
Man,
don't
your
know.
face feel all hot, feel all red.
Nah, my shit get purple. Nigga. I'm a little dark, man. You know what I'm saying? My shit get a little red and purple. I don't like that. I'm already taking out
Man,
my game. I'm feeling like, man, I gotta get back in my mode and shit. My head is ringing, my ears is ringing, shit feeling hot. But
for real.
y'all, but we gonna end it at that. We've been live for an hour. We just made an hour. But y'all letting me know. Do y'all feel like John Morant was in the right, or if John Morant was in the wrong, or if the kid was in the right or in the wrong? Nothing should ever come to violence, but at times you gotta understand respect is all at the end of the day. But letting me know, y'all. We gone.
We gone.